We'll get into what happened right after Freddie passed away. But first, let's set the scene. It's December 1991. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction is happening in New York City. And guess who's being honored? Queen. But something's missing. Brian May, Roger Taylor, and now John Deacon are supposed to be there to accept the award, but John Deacon isn't. Why? Well, after Freddie's passing, John found it too painful to go on. He left the band quietly, without a goodbye tour, without an explanation, just silence. So Brian and Roger showed up solo. On that night, Brian May stepped forward to accept the award. The crowd is roaring, cameras flashing, and then out comes Freddie's mother, Béjart Ballet. Everyone is stunned. John Paul McCartney steps down to make room for her. She walks slowly but surely, accepting the applause. Then she says something that will stay with everyone forever. "This is for my son, Freddie." To those who love and remember him, he would have been very proud. And indeed, he would have been very proud because his bandmates made sure of it. After the ceremony, Brian May, Roger Taylor, and a few others get together. They think about how to honor Freddie, how to pay tribute to their friend and frontman. They try a few things. At first, the idea of continuing seems almost impossible. How do you move on when your voice, your identity, your music is synonymous with one person? But then they remember Freddie's words, "Keep going. You gotta keep going." So they do. They work on re-releasing Queen's old hits with a remix, trying to keep Freddie's memory alive. And then something incredible happens. In 1995, an animated version of Freddie appears in a TV special called Freddie Mercury, The Great Pretender. Talk about a bold move. Not everyone is comfortable with it, but it becomes a huge hit. People are moved by seeing Freddie, or at least a representation of him, singing alongside his friends one last time. As the years pass, Queen becomes a bit more comfortable performing live again. They do a few shows here and there, but the turning point comes in 1997 when they team up with Elton John for a charity concert. The two bands blend their hits and create unforgettable performances. The audience cheers and sings along to Bohemian Rhapsody. Brian May and Roger Taylor know they can keep going. Queen has a place in people's hearts, and that won't change. So they make an important decision. They hire a new singer, someone to front the band while they continue making music. Many people wonder who could possibly fill Freddie's shoes. Well, the answer comes from an unlikely source, Paul Rodgers, the lead singer of Free and Bad Company. His voice is different from Freddie's, but that's not the point. It's about paying homage to the old tunes while looking ahead. The new Queen lineup releases a couple albums and tours, but something feels off. It's not bad, but it's not quite right either. Maybe it's the vocals, or maybe it's the chemistry. But whatever it is, Brian and Roger know they need to make a change. In 2003, they meet Adam Lambert, a young singer who looks like he was born to perform. Finally, it feels like Queen has found its new voice. After a successful stint on American Idol, Adam Lambert joins Queen for a tour and the crowds go wild. Here's the funny thing though. While Adam Lambert brings incredible energy to the stage, no one forgets about Freddie. In fact, during concerts, the band often shows video clips of Freddie, reminding the audience of his iconic status. It's a beautiful mix of old and new. Fans sing along to classics like Another One Bites the Dust and We Are the Champions, while also getting into Lambert's high-energy newer material. Queen has come full circle. They're still experimental, still pushing boundaries, and most importantly, still true to their roots. But now, let's switch gears. Let's talk about something that might surprise you. You've heard the tragic story of Freddie Mercury's passing. But what happened in the days leading up to that fateful day? What were his final days like? How did he spend his time? And how did those around him cope? You're about to dive into an intimate, emotional journey that goes beyond the headlines. This is the story of the last moments of a legend. It's November 1991, and Freddie Mercury is in his final days. He's decided to keep his illness private, so only a select few know the truth. Among them are his close friend and manager, Jim Beach. Jim remembers the days leading up to November as a mix of fear and sadness. He sees the toll the illness is taking on Freddie, but he also witnesses Freddie's strength and spirit. Even in the face of such a difficult situation, Freddie's humor never fails to shine through. Jim recalls Freddie joking about his condition, trying to find light in the darkness. But under the surface, Jim knows the gravity of the situation. He watches Freddie, noticing changes in his demeanor and energy levels. As Freddie's health worsens, it becomes clear that the end is near. Despite the impending sadness, Jim cherishes the time he spends with Freddie, offering support and understanding during one of the most challenging times of his friend's life. Now, as Freddie's condition deteriorates, he chooses to spend his final days in relative peace and solitude. Away from the pressures of fame, he finds comfort in the quiet moments. But his thoughts often drift back to his beloved cat, Delilah, sensing the depth of his connection with the feline companion. Those who knew Freddie understood the significance of cats in his life. They had been constant companions and sources of joy for him over the years. Now, even in his final moments, his thoughts and affection are with his furry friend. As the final day approaches, Freddie begins to withdraw further into himself. He spends hours on end in bed, resting and reflecting on his life. During these quiet moments, memories from his extraordinary journey flash before his eyes. There's the early days with Queen, the sold-out shows, the adoring fans, the highs and lows of his incredible career. He thinks back to the band's humble beginnings, the struggles, the triumphs, and the music that brought them worldwide fame. Freddie recalls the electrifying moments on stage, the roar of the crowd, the feeling of pure creative energy. He reminisces about the friendships forged, the laughter, the camaraderie, and the shared passion for music that bound him to his bandmates. There are also the personal relationships that have shaped his life. He thinks of past loves, the connections that left their mark on his heart, and the people who had been there for him through different phases of his journey. As he drifts in and out of sleep, he reflects on the impact he's had on the world, the lives he's touched with his music, and the legacy that will live on long after he's gone. Throughout his final moments, music continues to be a source of comfort for Freddie. He hums tunes, sings softly, and lets the melodies envelop him in a sense of familiarity and peace. It's as if the music itself is cradling him, offering solace and companionship in his time of need. As the day progresses, the inevitable becomes apparent. Freddie's strength is fading and his time is running out. Yet even in the face of death, his spirit remains strong. With his final breath, Freddie lets out a loud roar, a primal scream that echoes his journey, a life lived to the fullest, filled with passion, creativity, and an unwavering love for music. As he passes away, the music fades, leaving behind a profound silence that reverberates through the hearts of those who knew him and loved him. The world has lost an icon, but Freddie's legacy, his music, and his indomitable spirit will live on forever. So we invite you to join us in celebrating the remarkable life and extraordinary talent of Freddie Mercury. Let the music play and let the memories endure. And if you enjoyed this touching tribute to Freddie Mercury, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means everything to us. Also, make sure to watch our other videos about Freddie's life and Queen's legacy. Thanks for watching.